Welcome back, everyone. Nice to see you as ever, and hope that all is fine and dandy in your world. It's time for us to cruise with Princess in this show, and I'm really looking forward to telling you about another fabulous two-ship, no-fly adventure out to the States from Southampton on the Emerald Princess to Fort Lauderdale. A lovely stay there. Then you take the Amtrak train to New York for another stay, and then cruise back to the UK on Queen Mary 2 for next October. Details on the way. We're also sailing Discovery Princess around Asia and Australia for next November, with stays in both Singapore and Sydney. All the offers today have low deposits, and it's easy to make them all inclusive with Princess Plus. Right then, let's kick off with some sunshine in May, sailing the Pacific on Royal Princess. But first, our 11 nights start somewhere very different. We're flying out on the 3rd of May from the UK to my favourite place in the world, Las Vegas, for 3 nights on the Strip. Oh my word, I had the most amazing time in September, by the way. If you haven't been to Vegas, oh my word, you haven't lived yet. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Not a place I could ever tire of. I just think it's brilliant. The hotels change all the time as well. They knock some down, they build some new ones. They've got the new Sphere, which is out there right now, which is brilliant, the big entertainment venue, and it's just superb. They've got the big names in concert, of course. There might be some big names out there that you can go and book up a show to go and see. There are many, many shows. You can go and see Magic, you can go and see Elvis, you can go and see Tina Turner, you can go and see other big names. Adele's had her residency, hasn't she? I wonder if she's back then in time for May. There'll be shows that you can book up. But listen, if you just go through all the hotels, if you just drive up and down the Strip, if you just enjoy the bonkersness of the whole place, it's absolutely brilliant. Do take some time out and go and take a little helicopter tour or a land tour out to the Grand Canyon if you get the chance, because it is absolutely brilliant. There's actually an adventure that you can take, not that far out of Vegas, where you can go and drive something like a Lamborghini or a Porsche around a racetrack for a few laps. I mean, it's costly, but you know, it's good fun to do. So you've got Vegas there for 3 nights, and then we fly from Vegas to LA for a night in a hotel there as well. Another wonderful, wonderful city. This is kind of one of my next on the list to go and see, because this is the place where, I don't know, where dreams are made. Dreams are made and dreams are dashed, all in the same place. But listen, you're just popping in as a tourist for a night, so wonderful to stroll down Sunset Boulevard, go shopping, just go and take in the vibe, go and take the picture of the Hollywood sign as well. It's almost the law, isn't it? It's like having a Singapore sling in the Raffles Hotel. It's one of those things that, when in LA, it's got to be done, hasn't it? And then it is time for us to cruise, and we're on the Royal Princess. Now, Royal Princess, well, princess ships, as you know. If you know one princess ship, you know them all in terms of their lovely familiarity that goes right the way through the fleet. Having just been on board only a few weeks ago, actually, with Joe and I were on the new Sun Princess, I kind of completely got how Princess cruises feel and how they work and how smart they are. And they are very, very homely cruises as well. Nice and calm, plenty of things for you to do. The fact that everyone has access to the app is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Sorry, I was pardon the pun there. Everyone wears their medallion, of course, as well, so you can see how busy the restaurants are. You can book up activities and know how many other people are already doing that activity, which I think is quite clever. You can find your way around the ship really, really easily, which I think is really, really good. In fact, everything you need is in the palm of your hand, literally. So they've brought technology and home comforts together just beautifully. When you're in the atriums of these princess ships, I mean, they are just people watchers' paradises. And from that central atrium, because people think, oh, I can never find my way around a cruise ship. You really can, because when you're in the atrium, everything else hangs off that. All the bars, all the restaurants, you know, everything is either one end of the ship or in the middle. It's very easy to navigate a cruise ship, no matter the size of it. You've got lovely places like the Sanctuary to go and escape to. Book a nice pass there for a half day or a whole day and just be pampered. Enjoy your own private lounger and cabana and lovely drinks and whatever. Oh, nice. Nice to treat yourself to the spa as well. It's not something we do every day, is it? And we should do more often. But remember, when you're on the spa on a cruise ship, You don't have to worry about, oh, what do I need to take? And, you know, I need to drive there. Will I get stuck in traffic there or on the way back? Or, you know, am I going to get stressed about it? You just literally wander down to the spa. You can wander in and have a treatment there and then, or book it in for later or for the following day or whatever, and look forward to that real nice escape pamper treatment. And of course, when you're with family or friends or your other half or whatever, you don't have to worry about, oh, well, what will they do while I'm having a rub down from the neck down, because there's so many more things going on the ship. You know, live game shows, quizzes, trivia, lounges, sunbeds. You know, you can be doing nothing or as much as you like while you're with your other half or family on a cruise like this. And quite a nice discovery cruise as well, I have to say. Some really lovely ports coming up. Remember, of course, we're starting out of Los Angeles. We go down the coast first of all to San Diego, and San Diego, of course, famous for its fabulous zoo there, and you can take an old town trolley tour here as well. Lovely views of San Diego Harbour, very nice indeed. Day at sea, we're in San Francisco, all the sands here, isn't it? Take a tour to seeing the Golden Gate Bridge and Alcatraz Island. You can do both of those in a day, which is rather nice on part of a Princess tour. Very, very nice part of America. And then we head up to Canada, a day at sea up to Victoria, where you can take a tour here to go whale watching. You can see the orcas, the humpbacks, the killer whales, the sea lions, and lots of marine birds there with experts and live commentary. That would be a nice thing to do. We're ending this cruise in Vancouver in Canada, and that is where we fly you back to the UK. Or, of course, we can always lengthen the holiday from Vancouver, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But plenty of variety to be getting on with, don't you think, in this holiday? Quite a nice varied 11 nights. So, of course, it's very easy to top this up a little bit with some extra time in Vancouver, top it up to a fortnight. But what a massive variety. So, let me just remind you of all the things you do in this holiday. You fly from the UK out to Las Vegas, and you are there for 3 nights on the Strip. You love it. You'll absolutely love it. And then you fly from Las Vegas to LA, which is only about an hour flight, and you've got a night there in a hotel. And then you've got 6 nights on the Royal Princess to San Diego, San Francisco, Victoria in Canada, and you end in Vancouver for the flight back to the UK. Now, your deposit on this is just £199 each to lock in our price today. And let's check out the price for the whole package first, and let's decide how we can make this bigger, brighter and better. I mean, it's pretty big, bright and good already, don't you think? £1,899 per person. Now, deposits today just £199 each, locks in that price for you. Now, there are other ways to eke out this holiday a little bit further. You've already done Vegas, you've done LA, and you've done the lovely cruise, but you're ending in Vancouver. Vancouver's a good place to start an Alaska cruise. It's a good place to take the Rocky Mountaineer, that train journey across the Rocky Mountains, which people just say is pure magic and well worth doing. So talk to the team, because we can add that to your holiday, not a problem whatsoever. And of course, very easy to make this cruise all-inclusive as well, so we'll talk about that in just a second. But let's look at upgrades for the cruise on this as it is first. Remember, this is a 6-night cruise on Royal Princess, so there are your prices for balcony and suite. If you want to go for those, I mean, there's enough going on in this holiday already, I realise, but if you want to upgrade and go for your balcony and suite, fantastic, lovely, very nice indeed. If you want to make it all inclusive, go for your Princess Plus. It's £50 per person per day. Full drinks package, Wi-Fi, tips, and so much more, I'm just going to say, for £50 per person per day. I mean, the value that you get back for what you pay there is just incredible. I mean, it should be basically about 2.5 times more. £50 per person per day is less than a regular drinks package price on other cruise lines. So for that, you get drinks, Wi-Fi, tips, and yada, yada, yada. So much more. So much more. It's well worth doing, and lots of people do. But listen, we just want to make it as easy as we can, and Princess really do make upgrading as easy as it can be. Instead of saying, well, it's this much for the drinks package, it's this much for the Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi is only an hour, but if you want 2 hours, it's this, if you want 5 hours, it's that. None of that nonsense. You just literally have Wi-Fi for the whole cruise, drinks for the whole cruise, £50 per person per day. So much more included as well. So there's offer number 1 for you at £1,899 per person. If you want to know any more, just talk to the team on 0800 953 4700. It's a lovely, lovely little holiday, that one. I mean, the fact that it has Vegas, you know, makes me slightly more biased towards it. It's wonderful. Right, let's do another one. Let's go somewhere completely different this time. 24 nights for November next year. We're doing Asia and Australia with Vietnam and Indonesia here as well. Very nice. Now, we fly first out to Singapore from the UK for a 2-night hotel stay there. Singapore is another city, I have to say. Every other show, we're in Singapore for one reason or another, because it's kind of a gateway port for so many Far East cruises. But it's a lovely city to spend some time in as well. You know, go shopping, go wandering. I think it's one of those places where, you know, if you love botanical gardens and flora and fauna, fantastic. If you love modern, fantastic. You know, if you love old versus new, brilliant. It's all there in Singapore. And then we have your cruise on Discovery Princess. Now, it's 18 nights, so a real meaty cruise this time, and you are covering a lot of different places with this cruise. So it's important that your cruise ship is relaxing, that it has everything you need, that it has wonderful entertainment of an evening, that it has, as the screen just said there, something for everyone. So there'll be some days where you're in port and you've done a long excursion and you think to yourself, oh, actually, do you know what? I really don't even fancy going down for dinner. I don't fancy getting dressed in any kind of way, not even dressing up. I don't even fancy going anywhere. Remember, have some room service. Watch the fabulous movies inside your cabins. We never talk about the cabins enough, I think, because, you know, often they are, I mean, they are very important to your cruise. I mean, in any hotel, the bed and the bathroom, the most important things. On a cruise, just as important. Your bed has to be brilliant and comfortable. Your room has to have plenty of hanging space in the wardrobe, needs plenty of power in the shower, you know, all of those kind of things. Take that as for granted with Princess, that people love. And that's why people come back again and again and again. Of course, the other thing about being on the cruise as well, whereas these days, if you stay in a hotel, no disrespect to anyone that works in a hotel, it's just the way things are these days, that you almost have to beg, steal and borrow to get someone to come in and clean the room, even if you're there for a whole week. Whereas on your cruise, every day your room is being serviced, means the beds are being made, your towels are being put away, you know, the bathroom's being cleaned, da-da-da-da-da. It's also bins are being emptied, things like that, which is a really lovely feeling. You get very used to it. In fact, you miss it when you get back home and you realise you have to do it all for yourself again. So it's another plus point to being on a holiday like this. And of course, you've got the fabulous shows of an evening, and you've got your choice of different entertainment of an evening. It's not just shows. You could go to a movie under the stars, as you just saw there. There's bars where you can sing along. There's bars where you can just enjoy live music. There are bars where there's just music in the background, so you can just be chatting with your other half or new friends that you make on the cruise. And this is why cruising is so much different to any other kind of holiday that you can take, because it's so captivating. You get so used to this kind of life. Let's see where we're going then. Of course, we started off in Singapore. We just had 2 nights in a hotel there. First day at sea on the cruise, which is great. We're going to Ho Chi Minh City. Phu Mai is the port here. There's a tour which takes you on a narrated drive to the National History Museum here. You can go to a lacquer workshop, go lunch downtown for an east-west buffet with entertainment, and then go and do a bit of shopping, which sounds nice. Nha Trang is next in Vietnam, and you can take several tours here. There's a pedicab tour to go and see the white sand beaches and the famous Cho Dam Market, which might be quite nice to do. Then we've got a few days at sea, and we are in Lombok in Indonesia. Now, this is lovely. This is very laid back and tropical here. Take a tour to a craft village, maybe. Go and see the pearl shell carvings here, and go and see local villages as well. Really fascinating. A couple of days at sea. We're in Australia, in the top end of Australia in Darwin. Crocosaurus Cove looks absolutely terrifying, and that would not be me in that cage, let me tell you, but go and see it. It's well worth seeing. Lots of croc adventures in Australia. Then we go down to Darwin after a couple of days at sea there. Top end of Australia again. Sorry, Yorkeys Knob is next, isn't it? Yorkeys Knob is brilliant for the Daintree rainforest, which is wonderful to go and tour. Airlie Beach is one of the big ports for the Barrier Reef. It is the port for the Great Barrier Reef, which is vast, and you can take a cruise along the estuaries there, or take tours in glass bottom boats to see the reef itself. Couple of days at sea, we are in Sydney. That's where we leave the cruise, but we're staying because Sydney is such an iconic city in Australia. It is the city, should I say, that in Australia everyone wants to see and spend time in. So you've got to have at least a couple of nights in a hotel here because you want to get to Darling Harbour and look all around. You want to maybe climb the harbour bridge, which you can do there. Very, very nice to do. And the great thing is at the end of your cruise, you actually cruise in under the harbour bridge. But then you're staying in the city for a couple of nights, which is very exciting. And then flying back to the UK. Wow. I feel like we covered a lot of ground there. So out to Singapore, through Vietnam, through to Lombok, top end of Australia, down the right-hand side of Australia, past the reef or into the reef ports, and then end in Sydney with a couple of nights there in a hotel before they fly back to the UK. Now, imagine your travel journal. Maybe you are a journaling kind of person when you travel and you note it all down on paper, or maybe you're just pictures the whole time. Imagine how many pictures you're going to be bringing back from this holiday. Incredible. What a fabulous way to see Australia and so much more on this trip. Now, included is your flight out to Singapore at the start of the holiday, 2 nights in a hotel there, 18 nights of princess cruising on the Discovery Princess, Vietnam, Indonesia, and around the north and east of Australia to the reef ports, ending in Sydney with another 2 nights in a hotel there and the flight back to the UK. Sounds too expensive, doesn't it? It sounds like if we were playing the prices right now, we'd both be saying, right, £8,000, that's the price of that showcase. That's what it would be. Well, your deposit each on this is just £249 each today. And here's your price for the whole jolly lot. And I think actually if you've never done the Far East before and you've never done Australia before, you would imagine doing either one or the other for this kind of price bracket, not both. Not with the city stays there as well. And of course, if you want longer in Sydney, you want to do something else in Australia before you then come back, again, we can arrange city flights within Australia. Maybe you want longer in Singapore before you actually take the cruise, no problem. We can make that happen for you as well. But that is a superb price to lock in. It really is. Let's take a look at upgrades on this particular cruise then. Very, very nice indeed. I think, honestly, if you've never covered the Far East and you've never been to Australia and you kind of fancied always doing both, this would tick a lot of boxes with one holiday. Well worth considering. We're talking November next year. So in terms of the run up to it, low deposits today, £249 each today, and plenty of budgeting time for that holiday as well. And other possibilities we can add before or after as well. Just talk to the team, 0800 953 4700. You'll have a wonderful time cruising with Princess. I know that for sure, absolutely for sure. And for us to have put all of that together, flights and hotels and timing it with the cruise and whatever, means that you don't have to. Means that you haven't got oodles and oodles of where was that confirmation for the hotel? What was the hotel? Oh, no, you don't have to worry about any of that. We'll do all of that for you. No extra booking fee on top. 0800 953 4700. Now, I teased this offer, our final one in this show, right at the top of the show, and this is really super exciting. We do something like this every year. A way of being able to do a big adventure no-fly, and this is for the 11th of October next year. It's called 2 Ships, 1 Amazing European and USA no-fly adventure, with stays in Fort Lauderdale and New York. Now, it's 27 nights, and we start in Southampton. I always point down there when I say Southampton, because we're up in the north. So down to Southampton we go and join the Emerald Princess down in Southampton. It's quite nice starting a big adventure cruise somewhere like Southampton, and this whole adventure is about those of you who either prefer not to fly or just don't point blank will not fly. No problem whatsoever. You can still do big portions of the world. You can do the whole world without flying, quite literally. Very, very easy to do indeed. Emerald Princess, beautiful, well equipped, lots of choices for you. amazing included dining. Let me tell you, you will absolutely love dining in the main dining rooms. Are very, very smart. You're dining in the Botticelli, the Da Vinci, or the Michelangelo restaurants. You can do that at set times. You can dine my way. You can be flexible and book when you want to on the app, which is really, really good. You've got lots of other options. You've got the World Fresh Marketplace, which is the buffet. The buffet is always your best friend on a cruise ship, even if you're not dining there every night. But they are brilliant. They're great for breakfast. They really come into their own at breakfast time because the choices are massive. There's some of the main dining rooms will do breakfast as well. But going into the buffet and having the massive choices first thing in the morning is, superb. I say first thing in the morning. It doesn't have to be first thing in the morning. I mean, a lot of people breakfast at a certain time. They'll be like, right, okay, 8:30. We'll all be down at breakfast at 8:30. Whereas I'm more of a 10:30 breakfast kind of person. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to waste the day, but at the same time, I don't really want to be up at the crack of dawn to go down for breakfast. And that's the great thing about being on a cruise, is there will always be food available. Whenever you want it, will always be there for you. Even when you go into places like the coffee shops and whatever, there are lovely sandwiches and snacks and cakes and whatever around. Brilliant entertainment, of course, every evening. Princess are known for it. They're lovely variety shows and really high caliber as well. Of course, when you're going into the theatre, you're not paying a ticket for those shows, which is always very, very nice, because it just means that you are getting much, much bigger value across your holiday. And this, again, is a lovely, good, meaty sized cruise, I would say. 50 nights on this one, and that's a good cruise, because sometimes 5 or 7 nights you feel like just isn't long enough. You want to do something like that a little bit longer, and this is a big adventure. Remember, we start by cruising across to France into Le Havre. This is one of the ports where you can tour up to Paris if you want to. Le Havre itself, the French countryside is stunning. It's October, so, weather slightly better in France than it will be here. Again, in Spain, just that little bit better than it is here. Bilbao is great to go into the Guggenheim, of course, if you love, your art. Very, very nice. Then we go up to Vigo in the northwest of Spain, to green Spain, actually. Lots to see there. Santiago Cathedral, of course, the Pontevedra as well, which is so very, very historic sites. Quite nice to see them slightly out of season as well, so not full of the tourists. Now, you know we're heading to the Atlantic now because we're in Madeira. It's always your gateway port, isn't it? Funchal in Madeira means that your next adventure is cruising across the pond. So after a day in Funchal, across the pond we go into Fort Lauderdale. That's where we disembark, Emerald Princess. We're staying here for 2 nights in a hotel. Fort Lauderdale has lots and lots going for it, let me tell you. Lots of local attractions, great place to be. Love, as I say, dining in America. You've got the Everglades not too far as well, which is very, very nice. Nice little adventure. There's lots of parks and zoos and other attractions that you can visit. It's then a different type of journey, actually. It's like planes, trains and automobiles here. Next, we're taking the Amtrak train overnight from Fort Lauderdale to New York, which will be very, very nice indeed. I've checked out the facilities and everything on the Amtrak train. It looks like a lovely, lovely adventure for you. And then we arrive in New York, and of course you've got to spend some time in New York. So we've got 2 nights booked into a hotel for you. And New York, at this time of the year, if you think about it, this is the great thing about having a no-fly adventure here. If you are doing what will be the back end of October, you might be talking about some Christmas shopping here. And of course, the last bit of the journey is doing a no-fly cruise back to the UK, so you can shop till you drop in New York. And then how about this as a nice twist? Your taxi home on the sea for 7 fabulous nights is only the Queen Mary 2 with Cunard. What a way to round off adventure. We've done this kind of thing so many times over the years, and it's always a really, really popular adventure, because I think lots of people kind of aspire to the grandeur and the occasion of a Cunard cruise. And by this part of the holiday, you've done some very, very exciting adventures. You've already had your cruise out, to Fort Lauderdale. You've had your time there. You've trained it across to New York. You've had your couple of nights in New York. It is going to be busy in New York. It's a bonkers city. There's loads going on. You'll barely get, a wink of sleep because there's so much to do. So this is your chance to chill out, relax, pure transatlantic crossing, all at sea, across your 7 nights back to Southampton, enjoying the very finest of everything. The Royal Court Theatre, the wonderful afternoon tea experience, just chance to catch your breath, unwind and just enjoy the fabulous service as you sail iconic Cunard. Yes, this is the chance to dress up to the finest if you want to. Very relaxed during the day, by the way. It's the evening that's slightly more formal, of course, but I think that's quite nice. It's quite nice to actually, you know, get out those frocks that really don't see an airing, get out the tuxedo boys and enjoy as we come back into Southampton. What a lovely holiday. And this is a big adventure, and we're planning it, you know, best part of a year away, which is great. This is next October. Very, very easy to plan this and to get it into the diary right now and to know that it's happening. Now, we can do deposits on this one. The deposit is £399 per person on this one, but look at what you're getting across your adventure. Because you join Emerald Princess at the start of this in Southampton. You've got your 15-night cruise, which takes you out to France, Spain, Madeira, across the pond to Fort Lauderdale. That's where we leave Emerald Princess. 2 nights in a hotel there. The overnight Amtrak from Fort Lauderdale to New York, which of course is over there. 2 nights in a hotel there. And then Queen Mary 2, cruising 7 nights, transatlantic back to Southampton. It's an amazing deal, and it's a fabulous price as well, I have to say. Really, really nice. I mean, people pay this just for a few nights in New York with flights. So what you're getting here is just awesome. I mean, massive, brilliant adventure, and deposits to lock in that price tag so it won't move, of just £399 each today. Oh, and if you'd like to upgrade, we better check those prices out as well, hadn't we? Because that would be a rather nice thing to do. You've got 2 cruises on this one as well, remember? One with Cunard and one with Princess. And there are your prices to upgrade if you fancy. I mean, it's a massive, it feels like a big Phileas Fogg adventure, this one, doesn't it? It'll be a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. A real kind of life adventure. I mean, this is something you could do with families, but I'm thinking this is a coupley's kind of holiday, don't you? Just because the amount of movement and different things that you are doing. I mean, you might be a big gang of you. There might be, you know, a group of friends that you like to go away on holiday with. Maybe this is something to give them a ring and say, oh, now this is a different thing than we usually do, but do you fancy doing this? You do 1 cruise out to America and then stay there and then take the train from Fort Lauderdale over to New York, couple of nights there, and then Queen Mary 2 back. Maybe ring round the family and say, hey, I've just seen this holiday, and it's a bit different to the regular holidays that we do. 2 cruises, 2 very different cruise lines as well, but a massive adventure. Mull it over. Give it some thought. 0800 953 4700. Do you want any advice, by the way, along the way? Or you want to kind of tailor? Or maybe you've got some other similar ideas. Maybe you're thinking, right, okay. Well, I wonder if I could do a no-fly cruise to there, and then I could do a no-fly cruise to there, and then a no-fly cruise back home. Maybe there are other kind of configurations that we can do. We've done this many times before, where we've done Queen Mary 2 out to New York, done a different Caribbean cruise from there, and then Queen Mary 2 back as well. That's quite a nice adventure, which we can hook you up with as well. So many ideas, so little time. Let's get it booked. 0800 953 4700. And we are back with many more ideas, so don't you move. There's another one on the way.